Hi, good morning. Today we will be learning about the first chapter of social studies, that is physical features of India. We have learned many things about India till today. Now we will be learning about the physical features of India. So what are these physical features? The physically divided structures we call as the physical features. So how they have formed? The first thing is the geological background. What is the geological background behind these geophysical features of India? Here we have two land masses. The one is Angara land and the other one is Gondwana land. In the geological process, these two land masses started moving towards each other. Because of these movement, the attraction between these two land masses has created some geological and geographical changes which have been made the land masses to split into different pieces. And many countries as well as continents and everything has been formed. Now, particularly we learn something about India. So, in this process where India has formed, the southern part of the Himalayan mountains, here we have the total geographical physical features of India are total divided into 6 physical features. What are the 6 physical features of India which has divided into in the process of the geological background or geocyclic changes, what we generally call? They are the Great Himalayas, which we call as the northern bearers of India, which protects our country from many other things. We will learn in detail in our upcoming topic. Next class we can learn about that in detail. Next what we have is the northern plains, which we call as the Great Indian Plain also, which is comprised of 3 major rivers that we will be seeing in our next topic. The next week we have the Great Peninsular Plateau, and then the coastal plains, and then the Thar Desert and the island groups. These are the total 6 major physical divisions where India has divided, and these are called as the 6 major physical divisions of India. First, if we learn or if we look at the Great Himalayas, actually how these Himalayas are formed, all of us know that Himalayas are the youngest folded mountains in the world. They, as being the youngest folded mountains in the world, they has a great significance on the landmass of India. Even it acts as a barrier, as I said previously, it acts as a barrier and as well as the boundary for the northern part of our country. Northern part, all of us know that north is the top, bottom is the south, then east and then west. So total all the 4 directions. So Himalayas act as a border of the northern part to the India, and well as again further Himalayas has divided into 3 physical divisions, majorly the Himadri or the Greater Himalayas we call it. Next what we have is the Lesser Himalayas or the Himachal we call it, and the last one, that is the Outer Himalayas or the Shivaliks. These are the 3 physical divisions, 3 major divisions of again Himalayas. So these Great Himalaya mountains has these 3 parallel ranges. One is Himadri, the Greater Himalayas. Second is Himachal, the Lesser Himalayas. And third is Shivalik, the Outer Himalayas. So they are the 3 physical divisions of Himalaya mountains. As we said, the first one, the Greater Himalayas, or the Himadri. It is the topmost part, the bottom part. Just like how we have a head to the human body, the same way Himalayas or the Great Himadri, that stands as a head of the Himalaya mountains, where we have the highest peaks like Mount Everest, Kanchenjunga, K2. All these peaks are in that particular division. And next what we have is Lesser Himalayas. Here we have all the valleys as well as the hill stations like Kulu Manali as well as Simla, Himachal Pradesh, and many more other hill stations we have in a second division. And the third one is Outer Himalayas or the Shivaliks. Here all the major rivers of the Himalayas takes their birth, and then that flows throughout these particular Outer Himalayas and forms as a marshy tract or the fertile land, which we call as. So there are the 3 in parallel, Himadri, Himachal and Shivaliks, in these 3. And this runs from northern part, from northwestern part to northeastern part to and towards the eastern part. It moves from western part to eastern part. And the western part it is broader, whereas in northern part, eastern part, it is not narrower, not that broader. And the total distance of these Himalaya mountains is near about 2,400 kilometers length as well as 500 kilometers width in the western parts, whereas it decreases in the eastern part, it comes only 200 kilometers. And in central, it is okay, average, not neither the broader nor the narrower. In this way, the Himalayas have been divided, and all of us know that we, as being the significant feature as the border in the northern part, it plays a major role in the Indian climatic conditions, occurrence of seasons, and many more other factors of India. All these physical features has main role in different aspects of the diversified features of our country. And all of us know that even India is also called as a subcontinent. Why we call India as a subcontinent? That we will learn in our upcoming lectures. So previously we have discussed about the physical features, Himalayas. Now we are going to learn something about the Great Northern Plains. In general, we call it as Indo-Gangetic Plains. What are these Indo-Gangetic Plains? How they have formed? As I discussed in a previous lecture, it has been formed with three major rivers of our country: Indus, Ganga, and Brahmaputra. These are the three major rivers, the Himalayan rivers, obviously, which is called as a perennial rivers. Even we have been learned that. Even we said that without these Himalayan rivers, India would have been a desert. Actually, we have only one desert in our country, that is Thar desert, only in one or two states existing. But if there is no Himalayas, then the entire country would have been a desert. So now, here we learn something about these Indo-Gangetic plains. So as I discussed, the Sivaliks, the outer Himalayas, their majority of the rivers flows through that, and it enters into the southern part of that, towards the southern direction of the outer Himalayas, that is into the Indian subcontinent, the mainland of our country. So there, these three rivers forms a plain that we call as the Northern Plain or the Indo-Gangetic Plain, because it is formed with the rivers Indus, Ganga, and Brahmaputra. So it is named with the on the rivers, that is Indo-Gangetic Plains. So these plains have been again divided into three parts: Western Plains, Central Plains, as well as the Eastern Plains. So what are these Western Plains? That is the western direction, towards the western part, towards the states of Gujarat, and then the continuation of the states, like what you can say Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, like that, and it goes towards the eastern side. So the Western Plains and the Central Plains, as well as the Eastern Plains. So this entire land, the Central Plains or the Northern Plain, what we call as the Great Indian Plain, the Indo-Gangetic Plain, it is the most fertile land in our country, because it is formed by the rivers. It has been formed, the entire Indo-Gangetic Plain is filled with the valleys, river valleys, where the rivers brings the fertile material, alluvium, and deposits sediments everywhere throughout the plain, and that will be the most fertile plain, that will be the most fertile land in the country. So that's why if we see, the northern part of our country is very fertile, very rich in agricultural produce, and even they are the one who have been introduced with the green revolution and irrigation development, and many more other things are there. They never face any water scarcity in the northern plain region or the Indo-Gangetic Plain. So here it is, as I said, it is very fertile. It has been again further divided into many divisions, like say for example Bhangar and Khadar. What is this Bhangar? Bhangar is called as the older alluvium. Alluvium is nothing but a material, fertile material is called as alluvium. On that name only we have alluvial soil, the most fertile soil among all these soils. So these soils are formed by the alluvium brought by the rivers. So we call it as alluvial soils. So now these alluvial soils, the older alluvium is called as Bhangar, because it has been formed some age-old years. Okay, so that we call as, and it is less fertile in nature when compared to Khadar. Khadar is a newer alluvium. Okay, and it is more fertile because the recent one. Generally we say is no. So this is my new shed. It is very good, very delicate, and very fine. Whereas when compared to the old shed. The same way here also the same thing, older alluvium and newer alluvium. So these two. And here we have some of the rivers, whereas this Bhangar region is filled with conker and pebble areas. Pebbles means small stones. So that area, so the most of the Himalayan rivers, they flow through the underground of this Bhangar region, and then they comes out after the region, and they forms a marshy tract which we call as Terai. There we have thick forest, dense forest, and more deciduous forest. Of course, now majority of the forest has been cleared and utilized for the agriculture purpose. That is secondary again, because of the human requirement, the need of the human to meet the needs and requirement of the people. We have been slashed down that forest and we are using that land for agriculture. Okay, so now here western, central and eastern plains, where the central plain, Indo-Gangetic plain, has divided into three parts. Okay, in these three parts, western plain is the most fertile one, whereas next comes the central plain and then the eastern plain. So in a sequence 1, 2 and 3, western, central and eastern. These are the fertility among the soils also, availability of these particular soils. So this Indo-Gangetic plain is very important and crucial in the development of our country in every sector. Like it is very fertile, so that agriculture will be very good, and then the industries as well as the other sectors also. That we will be learning in our upcoming lessons about the development of these sectors and other things. So this all about this Indo-Gangetic plain or the northern plain of our country. Now we will go with the third lecture of Indian relief features or Indian physical features. So the third lecture of this, we will be learning about the Great Indian Plateau. So the Peninsular Plateau or the Indian Plateau, both are the same. The Indian Plateau we call as the Peninsular Plateau. So as we are coming from top to bottom, northern to southern parts. So Himalayas completed, the northern plain, and now we have the plateau region, the Peninsular Plateau or the Indian Plateau we call it. So it is formed with old metamorphic, igneous and crystalline rocks. We found the metallic, rock and even other type of resources. So in simple, we can say that the resources, mineral resources, whatever we get in our country, we get them in this plateau region. And this plateau region is again comprised of three major divisions. That is the Malwa Plateau, the Deccan Plateau and the Chotanagpur Plateau. Towards the western side, we have the Malwa Plateau, and the large area is covered by the Deccan Plateau, and a small proportion towards the eastern side is covered by Chotanagpur Plateau. And these has the three sides it is covered with water, and the western edge is covered by the Western Ghats and the eastern edge by the Eastern Ghats. And the tip of this plateau region is Kanyakumari. So here we have these major divisions like Malwa Plateau, Deccan Plateau, Chotanagpur Plateau, Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats, and then other areas. And Doda Betta is the highest peak or the highest place of this plateau region. And we have mostly the Nilgiris, Satpura ranges as well as Vindhya ranges also falls under this plateau region. So here most important and significant is the Deccan Plateau as well as in connection with Malwa Plateau. Here we have abundant resources of minerals like metallic as well as non-metallic like rock minerals. Even all of us know that India is very rich in mineral resources. Not just mineral resources, diversified mineral resources that we will be learning in our minerals lesson of this particular geographic topics. So here, now, if we discuss about the Deccan Plateau, all of us know that it is the largest plateau region which comprises of the majority of the states like Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, as well as Tamil Nadu and parts of Chhattisgarh, then Odisha. Up to that it's a large area it has been covered, the parts of Madhya Pradesh as well as the majority of the part. So this entire plateau region is very rich in mostly rock as well as the metallic minerals. We get majority of the iron ore mines we have in these particular states, in this particular plateau region, as well as most of the coal mines, as well as many other minerals are also extracted through this plateau regions. If we discuss about the two edges, Eastern Ghats as well as the Western Ghats, the Western Ghats are a continuous chain. That means there is no breakage, it's a continuous chain from the starting to the edge. Whereas the Eastern Ghats is a discontinuous chain, it is not a continuous chain. Whereas Western Ghats are very broader, narrow as well as rich and fertile. Rich in what? Natural vegetation. Even it has the rivers which takes birth, like the peninsular rivers, River Godavari, Krishna, they take birth in Western Ghats and they flows towards the Eastern Ghats. As they takes birth over here and it runs parallel to the coastal region. Both Eastern Ghats as well as the Western Ghats run parallel to the coastline of India or in contrast with the coastal plains of our country. And they both are, whereas Western Ghats are very broader, fertile as well as rich in many other resources. Even very good natural vegetation we have in Western Ghats. Whereas Eastern Ghats is a discontinued chain. It's not continued, it's not the higher altitudes as well as not broader and not rich or not that fertile when compared to the Western Ghats. So these comprises of these particular ranges as well as I discussed, the Nilgiri ranges and the largest forest area, Narmala forest area, as well as Satpura ranges and Vindhya ranges are also a part of these plateau regions. As this stands in a sequence in a third position, that means from north onwards we are moving towards the southern part. So Himalayas stands at the north, and then to the south of it we have the Great Indian Plain, and to the south of that we have this Peninsula Plateau or the Indian Plateau, which is comprised of the plateau regions. The three parts of that are the Deccan Plateau, Malwa Plateau and Chotanagpur Plateau, as we discussed earlier. And it is very rich in the minerals, rock as well as the metallic and non-metallic minerals. We get all the mineral resources in these plateau regions. Now we learn about the fourth physical division of our Great Indian Plain or the Indian subcontinent. The fourth physical feature is the Thar Desert, the one and only desert of our country, India. So this third desert, all of us know that it is very much located in the state of Rajasthan, the major part, and some parts of Gujarat is also, it is extended. So this desert area, all of us know that it moves towards the leewards of the Aravalli ranges. Leeward means downwards of the Aravalli ranges, and it experiences very less amount of rainfall, annual rainfall. Only 100 to 150 centimeters of annual rainfall is experienced in this desert area. And all of us know that it is very less and poor in vegetation. We can find only the type of trees, what type of trees we can find, what type of vegetation we can find in these desert areas. Mostly we find only the trees which has leaves very thick and has a water content in that. Alright, only the thorny trees, only that we can find the cactus. In simple we can say cactus can be found. And this is completely filled with the sand, all of us know that. And the major source of water of this desert area is only one river, that is Luni. And generally we have many of the rivers in our country which flows into the seas, but the river water of Luni doesn't flow into any of the sea because it is completely spread in the kind of state, and it is the only source, as I said, for the water purpose or the water source of the state as well as the desert area. And here one most important thing is we have a canal which is called as Indira Gandhi Canal. It is a long distance of 650 kilometers and it serves some hundreds of hectares of land which are brought under into agriculture by using the irrigation process. And Indian desert, as we said, the Thar Desert, is up to whatever the water resources are available with, by making use of that, it is surviving up to the best of its resources and making use of the availability, water resource, and along with the Luni River, even we have some of the oases here and there, the small water bodies available in the desert region, and there we can find some of the vegetation. And all of us know that what will be the climatic conditions of the desert area. And the next physical divisions what we have is the coastal plains. As I said, towards the northern part we have the northern plains. The same way here towards the southern part, the most fertile area, the most fertile land is the coastal plains. So this is towards the two sides of the country. As I said earlier, we have discussed about India is covered with three sides water: the Arabian Sea, Bay of Bengal, and Indian Ocean. So here, these two sides towards the Western Ghats as well as the Eastern Ghats, we have both the sides. We have the coastal plains, whereas the Western coastal plains are narrower when compared to the Eastern coastal plains are broader, and it has a large area of the coastal land, whereas the Western part has very less part of the coastal plains. So again, these western coastal plains has divided into three parts again. The first one is from northern to the southern. Okay, it has been divided again into further three divisions, like the Konkan coast, then Kankar coast, as well as the Malabar coast. The first one is, it stretches with the Malabar coast, which stretches with the states of Maharashtra and Goa, whereas the Kannur coast, which has the coastal plains or the coastal parts of the Karnataka state, and the last one is the Malabar coast, which is completely comprised of the state Kerala. So this is towards the western part, whereas the eastern side, here it is very broader in size and it has large area under the plain area, and here it is comprised with the rivers of Godavari, and actually it starts from river Mahanadi in Odisha till Kaveri in Tamil Nadu. So from here to here it carries the states of Odisha, Andhra Pradesh and then Tamil Nadu. These three states is majorly covered with these eastern coastal plains, whereas it starts from Mahanadi, okay, in Odisha, and then Godavari and Krishna in Andhra Pradesh and Kaveri in Tamil Nadu. These three, all these major rivers makes, peninsular rivers makes the eastern coastal plain of our country, and these lands are also eastern coastal plain as well as the western coastal plain. These two are also very fertile like the northern plains of our country. So again, this further eastern coastal plain also divided into three divisions. That is, the first one is Utkal coast, which is called as comprised of the state of Odisha. Then next what we have is the Sarkar coast, which comprises of the state of Andhra Pradesh, and the next what we have is Coromandel coast, the state of Tamil Nadu. And these areas are very rich in agriculture, very fertile land, and these rivers serves as a major source of irrigation as well as a major source of the agricultural water source, major water source for the agriculture of these particular both the parts, coastal areas, western coastal plain as well as the eastern coastal plain. So whereas western is narrower as well as when the eastern is broader. So these are the two coastal plains what we have in our country. This is the fifth physical division of our Indian major land. Now we learn about the last topic of the Indian physical features, that is the islands. So how many islands do we have in India? Majorly everyone knows that we have two island groups. One is the largest island groups, that is Andaman and Nicobar Islands, which is in Bay of Bengal, whereas the second one is Lakshadweep Islands, which is in the Arabian Sea. So here the total area of the Lakshadweep Islands is only 32 square kilometers, but the interesting thing of it is of coral origin. That means the land mass are the mountain ranges which have been submerged in the water, and then because of the changes which has gone timely as time passes, because of the geological changes which have been formed naturally, that was a coral origin. So because of this coral origin, and it is more fertile and very rich with this, so it is very rich in natural vegetation, whereas flora and fauna. We can find a wide variety of species of plants, animals, as well as even the birds and even other creatures also we can find more in Lakshadweep Islands. And it is in the Arabian Sea, the Lakshadweep Islands. And the population of Lakshadweep Islands is also very less, and only in 2 or 3 islands people are accommodated over there, it's habituated. Remaining all the other lands are the islands of these Lakshadweep Islands are barren, and they are completely reserved for flora and fauna. So that is the reason we can find a wide variety of flora and fauna in Lakshadweep Islands. Next what we have is the major island group of our country, that is Andaman and Nicobar, which is in a Bay of Bengal. These Andaman and Nicobar Islands are the part of the Myanmar hills as well as the Myanmar mountain ranges, and it has been formed, the origin of these Andaman and Nicobar Islands are the volcanic, which is formed because of the eruption of a volcano, and in the due course of time this erupted volcano, the material has been formed into the hard material, and these have been formed as an island. It is the largest island group of our country, and this Andaman Nicobar Island starts with the southernmost tip of our country, India, the mainland, that is Indira Point. From there it starts the Andaman Nicobar Islands, whereas here and there we have small islands. But in 2004 tsunami, this Indira Point has been submerged in the ocean because of the no water or the increase of the level of the water because of the tsunami. And these Andaman Nicobar Islands are the largest island of our country, and even it is very highly populated, and even it is also very rich in flora and fauna as well as the natural vegetation. Nicobar bird is a Nicobar pigeon, we call it generally. That is a major species of these Nicobar Islands, and even you might have been heard in your history part, or maybe you might have been watching any of the movies. In Andaman Nicobar we have a prison also, where during the British rule, most of our Indian leaders has kept in that prison by the Britishers. That also we have one of the importance or one of the thing which is known, which need to be known about these Andaman Nicobar Islands. Now, overall, if we summarize the topic, what actually we learned in this lesson is the first thing is the physical features, how India has divided. What was the root cause of this? From where these physical features have been formed? That we have been learned about the two major land masses, that is the Angara land as well as the Gondwana land. We have seen, and here I think we might have been skipped a point that Himalayas have been formed. What is the origin of these Himalayan mountains? It is the sea which has been, because of the compression made by these two land masses, it has been submerged, it has been bulged out and took that particular shape of the Himalayan mountains. And then in these physical features, majorly we have six: the Himalayan mountains, the northern plains, which we call as Indo-Gangetic plain, and then the peninsular plateau or the Indian plateau, and then we have the desert, Thar desert, and then the coastal plains, and the last is the islands. So these are the total six major physical divisions of our country, where the entire what we call as 29 states and 7 union territories, all these are comprised of these particular six physical features of our country. And this has various features. These relief features, in general what we call as physical features, has great impact on many other factors like the climate of our country, seasons of our country, population of our country. How these relief features affect all these factors we learn in our upcoming topics, like the climate of India, population of India, rivers of India. In these topics, in these lessons, we learn about all these concepts in clear, how these relief features will affect the climatic conditions and all the other factors, and how they plays a major role in the existence of a country. Thank you very much.